Brandon Moreno takes on Steve Erceg at UFC Fight Night Mexico City this weekend. And I'm going to tell you my main event prediction. I'm going to break down this fight, and to be honest, after watching both these guys' last 5 fights, I think there's a very, very clear favourite and a very clear winner, and I think the betting odds have got this one right, to be 100% honest with you. Obviously, we seen Steve Erceg last time out getting chinned by Kai Kara-France in the first round. I was very gutted to see that. You know, I hate Kai Kara-France. I really like Erceg. I like his nickname as well, Astro Boy. If any of you have seen that film, it's an old film. It's so good. However, enough about nicknames, enough about all of that. Brandon Moreno, I think, is a massive favourite coming into this. We obviously seen Erceg go tooth and nail with Pantoja, arguably winning that fight, or at the very minimum a draw. You know, so a lot of people called it a robbery. Obviously, Pantoja's a phenomenal champion. He's a very fun fighter to watch. And because there's not much depth in the flyweight division at the moment, we're getting the fights that we want. We're getting Erceg versus Moreno. I think winner should realistically fight Kai Kara-France for a title shot or fight for the belt. Or the winner fights Kai Asakura, you know, get them on a win streak. I think you should be on a win streak to fight for the belt. I'm just gonna say it, to be honest with you guys. I've got Brandon Moreno just putting a pace on Erceg that Erceg isn't able to handle, and we kind of seen him slow down against Pantoja. And the thing about Brandon Moreno is he is actually tough. He's tough, he's durable, and sometimes, you know, he's weird, like, because he gets hit hard and he's like, okay, I suppose this is going to be a war. Do you know what I mean? And he's got that sort of mentality, whereas I think Erceg's more like, oh, I got cracked there, I'll make sure that doesn't happen again. He's probably the smarter fighter, but I think stylistically, Moreno is just going to put a pace on him. I think I said this on Twitter. If you don't have me on Twitter, go down below and follow it. I've rebranded myself, and also I'm going to shout out my second YouTube channel where it's day in the life content, where you guys, I've got a cameraman, they follow me around training, etc, so you guys can watch that. Links all down below. There's also a Patreon I do for every UFC event where you get betting tips, and if you subscribe as a free member to the Patreon, you get a free double your money bet. So I will give you very good picks to whereas if you put down $5, you're guaranteed to double it, you know, and if you put down $10, you're guaranteed to double it. And it's like a little, if you bet on 2 fighters, parlay sort of thing. So if you guys like that type of thing, then Patreon is also down below. Just go down and have a little look at the links. I don't think you'll regret it. I think Moreno puts a pace on him. I think Moreno will pick his shots a bit better. And I know Erceg's coming off a KO loss. However, I'm not going to look too much into that. He's still in the prime of his career. He's a phenomenal athlete. He works really hard. Erceg might catch him. I just feel like Moreno is tough. Moreno is where he needs to be right now in his career mentally, and he took a bit of time off, and he's fighting in Mexico City. They kind of, you know, they're promoting the Mexican market. Dana White came out recently and said his favourite market is the Mexican market, even though a lot of them are soy and shit at fighting lately. Like Yair Rodriguez, he's just frail and weak. Brandon Moreno is going to come out. I can see this fight being massively entertaining for the first 8 minutes. I can see it being very competitive. You know, you're going into round 2, the first 3 minutes of round 2, thinking, God, this is really cool. This is a really good competitive fight. Then Moreno will start landing maybe a right hand to the body, followed by an inside leg kick. A left hook that glances the temple of Erceg. Erceg just looking a bit more unsettled going into the 3rd round, and then I think Moreno probably picks up the last few rounds. I think it's going to be Moreno by decision. I think Erceg will be in the fight always, but the pace of Moreno and just the way Moreno can pick shots better than I've seen anyone in the flyweight division, other than maybe Pantoja. However, Pantoja does get rocked a lot. I think Erceg it'll just be one of those things. It'll be like just having a bad day in the office, you know. He just lands a bit too much. You're having success, but his success is just a bit more spiteful. It's a bit better. It's a bit more well placed, you know. It's having more of an effect, it's having more of a effect on you than my successes, you know. So I think Moreno's a bit stronger. I think he's got thicker legs, you know. He'll bend his knees a bit more, maybe get hit with a left hook, circle, land a leg kick on Erceg, and then after the 8 minute mark, Erceg will it'll kind of be getting away from Erceg a little bit, and he'll be it'll be competitive, and Erceg's got a massive chance to win. But I think Moreno by decision's a great odds, you know. I think Erceg will move a bit more, he'll scoot around, you know. I just think a lot of Moreno's shots will glance Erceg and do a bit more damage, and maybe like make him more timid. And the way Moreno's been fighting his whole career is he puts a pace on people. I mean, we've seen what he did to Figueiredo twice. You know, the first quadrilogy in UFC history. It was a fantastic series of fights, and I do not think Erceg is on the level of Deiveson Figueiredo. I feel like if Erceg was to fight for Figueiredo would probably do like a left hook uppercut followed by a leg kick, and that would just be it, you know. What do you guys think? I mean, obviously, Moreno has been in a lot of wars. Moreno has been hurt badly recently. You know, he's lost twice to Pantoja. It's a hard fight to market. Erceg lost barely to Pantoja, but then he got chinned by Kai Kara France. The MMA maths in the flyweight division does not work necessarily when it comes to this bout, and I'm very excited for it. I do believe, though, Brandon Moreno will get it done. But I'm going to say by decision. I'm going to say 50-48. I'm going to say by 2 rounds or 1 round. I just think some judges might give it to Erceg. Some judges might say, oh no, I think Moreno won that round, just based on the effect of the strikes. I think, for example, let me put this in a better perspective. If Erceg's landing 3-4 jabs, right, and he's got, let's say, 4 significant strikes, but then Moreno lands a left hook right hand, then Erceg's head snap back, and then Erceg has to reset, it's 2 significant strikes down compared to Erceg's 4 for Moreno. However, the judges will see that and be like, yeah, it's working, you know, because the way the UFC are doing the significant strikes now is horrible. It's like you can literally land like a glancing, very quick, snappy left hook that hits the top of the head. That's literally nothing. And the UFC will be like, oh yeah, that's a significant strike. I think damaging strikes are actually different to significant strikes, to be honest. Like, strikes that have an effect, I believe, are worth more than a double. Like, a left hook right hand that'll stumble Erceg back compared to 4 jabs maybe by Erceg. I think Moreno deserves that round, that point, for example, if we're putting it in that perspective. And I think the pace of Moreno is unmatched in the division, not even because of his cardio, just because his grit, because he kind of just accepts in his mind that he might die and he might get knocked out and he might get hurt, and he's like, okay. You know, it's a bizarre style. You kind of see that mental switch in him where, okay, let's have a war, then I'll go home and play with Lego. Like, that's actually what he's like. But I'm worried that he might come in here a bit more timid, and that would be phenomenal for Erceg. Just Moreno being timid and maybe not picking shots as well, then Erceg just catching him with a few jabs, leg kick as he comes in, and I feel like Moreno might shoot a few takedowns as well. I think Moreno will do like an ankle pick maybe against the cage. I can see Erceg getting caught with these things, but for the sake of the division, for the sake of the flyweight division, I would love Steve Erceg to get this one done. I think he would be just fresh blood, just fresh meat, fresh style, and a win over Brandon Moreno in this division is absolutely massive. However, I don't think he's going to get it done. Moreno is severely underrated because of the wars he's been in, because of the losses he's had. He allows himself to get drawn into a dogfight where someone might be more accurate, you know. But Moreno can put a pace on you, not even with punches, but with the pressure he can do against the cage, just walking a man down and taking the shot. And just I think what Moreno needs to do is do one shot at a time, pick a shot, left uppercut, bend your legs into it, sit on the punch, see the visual effect on Erceg, and see Erceg circle away, and give the nod to the judges. Yeah, look, this boy's running. And I think that will be the story of the fight. Let me know what you guys think my breakdown is like, and what you guys think is going to happen. As I said, don't forget to go down below and look at all the links I've got. I'm rebranding this. We're sending this channel to the fucking sky, to the moon. My plan for this year is to hit 5,000 subscribers. So if you guys wouldn't mind subscribing, I think we're not even halfway there yet. So it's a big ask. You know, we're about 200 subscribers off 50% of that. However, I love MMA, I love the UFC. Let me know what you think of my breakdown, and I will catch you guys all in my next video, where it's going to be about why John Jones's career is completely fraudulent.